Hi, Trevor here, reflecting on life through music. Welcome and thank you for stopping by. Well, I trust you enjoyed my last video on the Australian indie rock band Augie March when we looked at their song Cold Acre. And in that song, I talked about the fact that instead of trying to solve people's problems for them, it is better to walk with them to get them to solve them themselves. There's going to be so much more to them when they can solve the problem themselves. Well, we go from there to one of the biggest selling boy band of all time and one of the biggest selling acts of all time. These guys have sold over 100 million albums. And interestingly, there's only been 9 albums in that 100 million albums. These guys have been absolutely massive. And I'll give you a little bit of background about them. They were formed in 1993. Howie Doro and AJ McLean got together. They soon met Nick Carter. And then later, Kevin Richardson and Brian Littrell joined this boy band. And apart from a bit of a break for Kevin for about 6 years, who then came back, that's been the lineup of the Backstreet Boys from 1993, and they're still going today because in 2019 they released their 9th album DNA, and that went to #1 in the US. So there's still longevity and staying power for this boy band. I don't know if you can remember back in the 90s, they would do the typical boy band sort of video clips, the smouldering looks, the sorrowful faces, the joy, the passion, all of the stuff that goes in with being a boy band. And I'm sure there was many a girl that had pin-ups of these guys in their bedrooms because they just had the look. But behind the look, they actually had really awesomely crafted pop songs, pop perfection songs, which made these guys so compelling. And so, yeah, we're on a big selling artist today, the Backstreet Boys. And there's a song in particular that I wanted to focus on today. And this one came off their 2006 album, Never Gone. And the song is called I Still. Well, what is I Still all about? Well, in the official clip, which I've got in a minute, they reflect on, I suppose, in this sense, the most logical explanation is a relationship that is no longer. And I think, even though the relationship has ended and they're on their own again, there's still concepts of being I am still in that relationship. I still love them. I still want to walk along the beach with them. I still want to have dinner with them. I still want to have coffee with them. I still want to share intimate moments with them. I still do. And you know what? I wonder how many of us go through these I still moments when we think about the fact that something that we have truly loved, now it may not be a relationship, it could be anything. Say, for instance, and particularly at the moment with COVID-19, you had a job you really, really loved. And because of the economic downturn, they've had to let you go. And so where once you were having really awesome days and exciting days, those days are kind of no more. And so you still find yourself longing to be back there. Or, well, in the most practical sense, I suppose, when we look at relationships, let's first of all think about a relationship which just ended because of whatever. I'm sure there will be times in both of the person's lives where they're thinking, oh, I just still wish that I was part of their world. I don't actually know what to do with this feeling of I still. Or we take it even further than that and we look at a couple that have been together for 30, 40 years and one of the partners dies. How devastating for the person who is left behind. The I still moments. You think of 40 years of history of I wish they were here to watch our grandchildren now. I wish they were here so I could have someone to talk to. I wish they were still here so I could share intimate moments with them. I wish they were still here so that we could go on a holiday somewhere. I just don't feel like going on a holiday because I'll be on my own. This is the feeling we're talking about. As I've shared earlier, love is a strange thing. First of all, it is compelling, and us as human beings need it in our lives, but often it does not end that well. But would we choose not to have love in our lives? Well, we probably would choose to have it in our lives because when we are in love, it's just the best thing in the world. But it does come to an end. And I suppose the question is, what happens to that love when the physical presence, I suppose, has gone? Does it stop too? Does it end? Does it kind of become irrelevant? Well, I don't think so. I think that maybe love keeps going. Well, you might be saying, well, how can you love somebody that's no longer here? Well, there are aspects of the relationship, I believe, that will keep going. The physical presence, sure, yeah, that might be gone, and that's a very, very big part of any relationship is that physical seeing the other person. But if the person's no longer around, it doesn't necessarily mean the relationship's over. You don't just kind of move on from that person and pretend like the relationship never existed, because it did exist. And if it was over many, many years, it was probably a significant relationship, and so it will continue in other ways. One of the biggest ways it probably continues is in the memories that you have, the memories that they share, the memories that are important to you. And as I shared a little while back, you can think of a memory that stands out above all others, and that can be like your go-to memory when you're thinking of missing that person. Because you think, how fantastic was it that I had that memory? How fantastic was it that I was able to share that moment with the person? And by the way, it's all right to call them by name. I wonder what such and such would have thought about this, or gee, I wish they were here, or I remember when such and I did this and it was just a great time. It's all right to call them by name. Because I still, as the Backstreet Boys song says, they're still part of my life. I'm not going to forget them. And nor should you forget them, really, because they are embedded in there. And they are too much ingrained into you to try and forget. So why try to forget? Always remember them. And if it is that, another relationship was to come along, I know this is a big call for some people, but I think you can accommodate the love that you have known in the past together with a new love, and you can hold those two things together because they become part of the suitcase that we carry through us with our life. So there are plenty of I still moments. And I think if you know someone who is facing an I still moment, the best thing that you can do is to foster those memories with the person, to to help them to remember, to encourage them to remember the really, really good memories. And that may get them through some of their darkest moments. And there will be dark moments with grief. It's just what happens. But there are also these memories. So don't be scared if you are the person listening to someone. Don't be scared to mention their name of the one that's gone. I wonder what such and such would have felt about this. That's quite alright, because the person is still with that other person pretty well all the time, just not physically. And if you are in a situation now where you have lost your partner, I am sincerely, deeply sorry for your loss. I really, really am. If you're in this room with me now, it would be great just to be able to sit with you and have a conversation about what it was that made that person so special to you. So if you are in that spot right now, feel free, I suppose, the invitation to leave a comment below just about some memory that you've got. And I would love to see some of those comments, because there are going to be plenty of the I still moments in your lives going forward. But that's okay, because you have known love, and love has known you. What a beautiful thing to be able to say. So I trust that will be an encouragement for you today. Well, on to the clips. Well, I have gone for the I Still. This is the official clip with all of the usual boy band sort of poses in it, but there's some really good vocal harmonies going on in this song, because one of the things these guys could actually sing, and they could sing in harmony really, really well. And so we've got the official clip from 2006, I Still. So enjoy that one. I've also thought, well, I wanted to try and find a live version of these guys singing. You know, one where we really, really know it's live. Sometimes you're not sure. But in 1999, they released the Millennium album. And one of the songs off that one is I Want It That Way. And this is a performance from 2015. So, you know, if you think about 1993, and we think it's like 30 years on, is 2023. You know, these guys have been around for 25 plus years now. And obviously, you know, they've still retained the name, but I think what they've done is they've gracefully been able to grow up a little bit, and to keep their fans, and to keep their act, and to be able to keep their songs relevant, even after 10, 20 years after some of these songs were released. So well done, Backstreet Boys. And to Howie, AJ, Nick, Kevin and Brian, thank you for the joy that you brought this world. Thank you for the way that you have captured our imaginations with your beautifully crafted songs and your beautiful crafted delivery. So the performance from 2015 is an unplugged version. It's just got them sitting on stools and a couple of guitars around them. And they are singing this song live, I'm thinking. So it's really, really nice to see this performance and to see how good these guys actually are to perform live like they do. And I've also included, I suppose, my commentary from last time from Augie March and Cold Acre. So if you want to recap on that one, feel free. Well, that's it for today. Always with these videos, my aim is to be an encouragement to you. And if we do touch on things which can be a bit raw at times, it's because I'm wanting to encourage you in your journey in whatever stage of life you're up to. So only best wishes and goodwill from this end of the camera. So that's it for today. If you like this video, please give it the thumbs up, and I'd love you to subscribe. If you have subscribed already and are watching another video, thank you very much for doing so. And if you've got to the end of this one, awesome, fantastic, that's great as well. So thumbs up, subscribe, that would be fantastic. Well, that's it for today. Next time, we're going to go on to the girl band, the Bangles. So until then, I'll catch you around.